reality shows are scripted in a way where they tell you what to do. You know, उनको मेरी side कभी दिखी ही नहीं है. I knew तू पहले दिन से backstab करेगा. You're not as sweet as you look. वो ये कहीं भी नहीं लिखा था कि अगर elimination होगा तो तू बाहर जाएगी. मतलब मैं क्यों जाऊँ बाहर? I mean, आप शो पे चैरिटी करने तो नहीं आए हो ना यार. Your reality show like that, where you're there to win. They're worse than anything else in the world. When your best friend betrays you.
I think NIBEEE and Priyanka like totally together. I don't want Divya.
The guy that you love with somebody else throughout the whole show. It's tough. It's not easy. When she opened her mouth, I was like, what? Where is this coming from? What happened to this girl? And I was like, has she lost her mind or has she gone mad? Like, pagal ho gayi hai kya? There was a lot of hatred, a lot of negativity that came my way, a lot of comments, a lot of DMs. I somewhere felt bad for Priyanka's work. The winner got declared. I wasn't unhappy. So they are also not in between each other. Ab to chhod do. Was staged out was just, I think, saddening.
Are you saying it's scripted? What is up, Nibedita? What is up?
Hi, girl.
Such a pleasure to have you on my channel. I've heard so much about you from Akash and
Oh, God.
And I was
I know. They're very close to you, yes.
Yeah, not that close because we just met, but we just vibed, we just clicked. And I was like,
I love that.
Yeah, and I was telling Anmol, listen, get her on my channel, please, bro.
Time, I think the fact that you asked me, I don't know, it was very instant for me. Like, I was like, why not? Let's do this.
Very fucking pretty. Like, I'm not lying. You look amazing.
Thank you so much. You're like, you're full of love today. I love that. I needed that today.
I'm not. I just got fucked bro. बहुत can't चल रहे हैं. But I'm very. I'm just happy you're here. I'm excited. You know, I saw you on TV.
I'm here to just chill the fuck out and let's just yeah.
Yeah, I would really want to say one thing though. I saw you on TV, and when I was thinking, I was in I was getting my 12th boards, okay, and I saw you on TV, and I was like, listen, Nibedita is amazing. Like she has got it. Like you were so cute on the TV. Like I had my favorites, but you were my favorite contestant. Getting you on my channel is like a achievement for me. So I love you.
No, I love you too. I appreciate the love, man. It's so sweet, and honestly, it's been so many years since I've done that show, and I still get the same amount of love. And I just adore it so much. It's just very overwhelming.
How people know you, you know, like we started to know you from Splitsvilla, so it's like the microphone you have. So yeah, that's exactly. So Nibedita, let's just not waste time. I have a lot of questions for you. I just want to start.
I think we're on the same page. I think I'm quite excited for this as well. It's been a long. Let's go down memory lane.
Yeah, let's relive. Let's relive. Okay, so Nibedita, the first question is, do you still get hate after so many years of doing it?
You know, on the contrary, I've actually started getting twice the amount of love now, as opposed to when I actually did the show. There was a lot of hatred that happened at the time because, you know, there were fans that supported, Divya and Priyank, and then there were fans that supported me. So there was that rivalry that was happening. But I don't know what changed after like 5 or 6 years because they keep repeating, the episodes on MTV. People have rewatched it, or I don't know what changed. Like all of a sudden, I'm getting extra love. I'm getting a lot of love from everybody. Yeah, it's crazy. It's actually lovely at the
same time. Kids got mature and they realized we were the wrong
person. After 6 years, I'm viral after 6 years.
So, Nibee, obviously your season was the best season. We all know it. Like, it was an amazing season. You all did amazing. And like, Divya, you, Priyank, you all did so much in your life. So obviously it was an amazing season. Audience gave you a lot of love. So now when I sit here, I have a question for you. Do you think you would have done something differently that time? Like, you have any regret? Like, you would have played differently on the show?
Like if I were to do it now, I think honestly, playing differently is not what I would say because I think we've just grown as people now. We've become a little bit more mature, and maybe I wasn't as vocal or as open as I am now. So maybe being my first reality show, it was really overwhelming for me because I really didn't know how I was being portrayed, or I really didn't know what to do in the show. It was very new for me. But now that I understand and I have a better understanding of it, obviously I think I would do things differently, maybe a little bit more strategically, less from the mind. I mean, more from the mind, less from the heart. I don't really have regrets. I think the journey has been amazing, and the kind of love that I've received has been unreal. So if I were to do anything differently, I think that would change, and I wouldn't want that to change.
Okay, so the triangle you were with like Divya and Priyank, आप उनके अभी भी friends हो? Are you guys friends?
Yes, yes, we are. We are. As a matter of fact, we are obviously not constantly in touch with each other because everybody's just busy in their own life. But we are friends. We talk, we meet, and we have sort of bond the bridges. So that's the bonding is still there for sure.
When you came out of the show, you guys sat together and sorted it out?
I don't think the sitting together and sorting it out actually happened. I think gradually, just over time, we realized that, yeah, it was all a show. And whatever happens in the show. And the thing was that the reason the fights actually happened in the show was for love. And then when the show ended, that love wasn't there either. they,
Yeah.
they weren't together, so what's the fight even for?
Okay.
That it was kind of like there's no reason to fight, or there's no reason for any animosity anymore, because I mean, what's part of a show is what's past is past.
So, what is your bond with Priyank now?
I think Priyank and me, we share a very beautiful friendship till now. We don't talk every day. Obviously, he's caught up in his own things. But, whenever we do talk, it was his birthday actually. And I wished him, just yesterday actually. And he sent me a very beautiful video, and he's, doing really well for himself. And I'm really happy. And, the same warmth, the same love, the same affection is there. It doesn't change at
Okay.
all.
I also have a question, Nibby, that you when you were on the show, obviously Divya ke fans and Priyank ke fans ने आपको target किया था, right?
Huh,
Now you are saying
huh.
that they have matured and now I get triple the amount of love compared to what
Yeah,
I'm getting the hate. So what do you think
100.
what changed? मतलब आपका point of view क्या था उस triangle के अंदर? Like what was your say?
So, I think people were not able to understand the power of friendship and sacrifice at that point, because I think they were just so caught up because people enjoyed watching them together on screen, and they really shipped them as a couple. So when that thing broke, I think they really somewhere got affected. So उनको मेरी side कभी दिखी ही नहीं है. For me, I was always sort of fighting for my place in the show, fighting for my place, with the boy who's supposed to be my connection, and just trying to make this whole triangle work without anybody getting hurt in the process, which is of course impossible, because आप एक triangle में खेल रहे हो, तो at the end of the day that it's risky.
Yeah.
One, you can't play the show with three people. It's always going to be like a duo that's going to win at the end of the day. So somewhere someone is going to get hurt in the end, but at the same time you don't want to be the person that gets hurt, so you're trying to save yourself from doing that as well, and just go ahead and battle the show as well. So a lot of mixed emotions were happening.
Who was your favorite contestant on the show? Like, who did you, when you now watch? I'm sure you and your friends watch the show. Who was your favorite contestant? Whose bond with you right now is the tightest? Like your knit.
It's really funny. So Anmol happen to be one. She was my roommate, so I spent a lot of time with Anmol. So when Anmol left the show, that really affected me. So after Anmol, anybody that I got really close to, that was Naina. So Naina and me really bonded on the show, and that girl, when Divya came back and that whole, spat happened between us, Naina was really there, and she stood up and she would always speak for what was right, always on the show.
Then.
And, that is still constant. And surprisingly, me and Akash on the show, we were never close.
Yeah,
We were like on different teams. We hated each other on the show. We could not stand each other. But then somehow the show ended, and he's the closest person in my life to me right now. There is no in my life that's closer to me than Akash.
And Akash is such a sweetheart. He is so cool. Like,
He is a darling.
Yeah, if you sit with him, he's always like, you know what? You know what? And I love.
Oh, yeah. He has all the goss in the world. He is he's my Ken for life. Friendship is about love. Friendship is about sacrifice. Friendship is about forgiveness. There's a lot of emotions that are attached to it. So at a point, I thought, I can also give it back to them. But then I thought that's not who I am. It's about showing people who you truly are. And, sometimes having a bigger heart always works in your favor. So that was really it.
And it did
Just
actually, in your case.
yeah, yeah.
Did.
Sometimes like chillam chilli se kuch nahi hota hamesha. You don't have to scream and shout to sort of prove a point. Sometimes you can just be silent, do your thing, and let the people react to it.
But you know what? The audience really felt that, you know, you were like, people felt like, how do I put it in words? Like, people felt like, you know, NIBEEE should have given it back. Like, I see the comments till
Yeah,
now. And people
yeah,
actually like, why is she so sweet about all of this? And now when we see
yeah.
your point of view, we get it. Like, okay, you wanted to be with class. Okay, I'm not this person.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, sometimes you don't have to be dirty or get, it doesn't need to get messy. Sometimes you can be dignified about things. And like, why not? The show is not always about giving it back to the person. This is also a way to give back to somebody. You know, you're also putting them to shame, but without being dirty.
Reverse psychology, we say that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, Uno reverse. Uno reverse.
Reverse.
That's exactly what I did. And at the end of the day, you know, when the people who have tried to put you down come begging to you for help, I think that is powerful in itself.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So NIBEEE, out of context question, but as a viewer, I watched your season. It's a question from my side. So in
Yeah.
real life also, if you like somebody and the third person comes in picture and that person is like going to take your partner away, how will you react to that situation? Like, you will fight for it, or like you'll be like, if he is going there, you will just sit back. Like, how will you react to this situation in real life?
Obviously, if there's a third person that comes in between, it's tough. It's difficult. Obviously, it's not a very pleasant experience. But then at the end of the day, if there should never be a third person in between. If there is a third person involved, that means somewhere, you know, your partner is allowing it.
Yeah.
It's happening. It's mutual, you know, it's not a one-way street ever. So if somebody like that is allowing that to happen, bro, you can have him. I definitely would not want to be with someone who's putting me on the same ship as somebody else. You know,
Exactly.
it's
That's
either it's
powerful.
got to be exclusive. Yeah, yeah, it's got to be exclusive. If you think that there is somebody else that may, that I'm not replaceable, is what I'm saying. If there's somebody else that is also on your mind, then you are, please walk away.
So if
That's it.
she can take him, you know, from me, then she can have it. Like, that's
Please
all.
take him. If I can move on to better things, by all means, le jao.
And NIBEEE, what is your bond with Divya? Like, how is Divya and your equation?
So yeah, honestly, Divya and I have really had our ups and downs in life. You know, after the show, there was a point where we sort of sorted things out between us, and it was a very happy and good relationship that we shared. And then things happened in between, personally, which kind of led to again things dipping, and we weren't on good terms again. But just recently, I think we've matured in life as well, and we've realized that it's a very short life that we live, and you can't spend your life in all of this negativity. It's too much hatred happening, and it's not needed. So we've amended that now. I think me and Divya are on very good terms, and I think she's really matured as a person as well.
Who is not in touch with you? Like, who's that one person who you're not in touch with, like, since Splitsvilla?
Most of the boys, to be very honest, like Basir, Mohit, and Akash are really the only ones that I'm in touch with. Even from the girls, Steffi, I'm absolutely not in touch with. Since Splitsville, I've never spoken to her again. Steffi or Isha also, I'm not really in touch with. The only girls that I'm really in touch with are Naina and Anmol. That's it.
Okay. Did you really like Priyank back then? Like, what was the, you were infatuated, or
So
you like?
a lot of people have this misconception, which I've always tried to clear, but somehow, people just see a relationship in one way. With me and Priyank, you know, we didn't really have a love connection, which was very evident. Him and Divya shared that, which was great. But, there is always a bond that is stronger than love, and that
Yeah.
is friendship. So the time that me and Priyank spent together, we had a lot of conversations together. We performed numerous challenges together. So there was an attachment because there was nobody else that I was connected to in the show. I didn't have any other connection.
What I feel like as a viewer is that you were emotionally dependent on
Yeah.
Priyank. This is
Yes.
what I felt
Yes.
as a viewer.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotional dependency because there was nobody else. There was nobody else I was performing with. There was no bond really that was formed with anybody else. And everyone else actually had their connections. So me trying to get in there would just not make any sense.
When Divya, that she will be the priority, and
Exactly.
you can't share.
Yeah, in a way you do. People think, oh, trio is all fun and games. That honestly, it's a lot of it's very difficult. It's a lot of hard work, and still see your connection kind of going elsewhere, and not keeping you as a priority. At the end of the day that you will never be their priority, and if they were to choose, you will always be the second person. So kind of you have to be mentally prepared in that way as well, but then you have to fight for yourself as well, because you don't want that to happen. I mean, आप शो पे चैरिटी करने तो नहीं आए हो ना यार. You're there to fight for your place. And if I know that, he is my ideal match, and if we were to go ahead in the game, things would probably turn out positive for us. Why will I let that go? Why would I do that for somebody else?
Yeah. So yeah, that I agree. At the end of the day, you came to win the show, right? You were
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the game. So when
I'm
that
not.
obviously it will break your heart that that we are the ideal match and we have to go forward in the game, but that did not work out
Correct.
for you.
That did not work out. Yeah, yeah.
Basically, it was the
Which,
game which hurt you the most. You are trying to say it was.
yeah, the game itself, the way that it was all, staged out was just, I think, saddening.
Are you saying it's scripted?
No, no, I'm not saying it's scripted, but the way that, things just
Sure.
happened in the show. Format of it was as such that it was very confusing. This was the first time that the idol match concept was introduced.
Yeah,
So it took us a lot of time to actually understand the concept of it, because
yeah,
we were not familiar with it.
yeah,
But I think the concept as such is very difficult to go with. It's confusing because,
yeah.
I mean, choose between somebody that you really like and somebody that will benefit you is a very hard decision to make, especially in a reality show like that, where you're there to win. They're worse than anything else in the world. When your best
Friends,
friend betrays you.
friends with the people who voted you out. We were trying to.
Yeah, so Siddharth and Priyank had always been on the same team, and they'd always played together. Like it was a pack, basically. And when it was time for him to save us, he didn't. He thought it would be convenient for him to sort of eliminate us from the game, which was very smartly played by him, because he's always tried to be this nice, righteous boy. But when he got the chance to kick us out of the game, he said, "Nikal दूंगा इनको." But my only problem was that, see, if you're playing the game, then say you're playing the game. Don't try to be like
Yeah,
a saint
spit on
about
the
it.
face and like write
Yeah,
the
yeah.
on the
Don't sugarcoat things. Yeah, yeah. You playing the game, then just be vocal. कि मैं game खेलने
And
आया हूँ,
Naina
मेरा
said
दोस्ती है.
that. And Naina said that. She kept it
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Naina called him out for it. Of course, she was like, I knew तू पहले दिन से backstab करेगा. You're not as sweet as you look.
Naina is like amazing. I to love Naina. Like Naina is like actually the one person who can like fuck you up. Like if you fuck with me,
Yeah,
and
yeah. If you get on the wrong side of that girl, then she can really give it back to you, and you don't want to be on that side ever.
I love
She's
such.
a great girl otherwise.
Priyank had some, I just feel like like he's one of those contestants in Splitsvilla who came and who had an aura. Like, like the way he's talking.
Yeah, there is nobody, I think, in the entire journey of Splitsvilla, so many seasons. I think Priyank has been one of the most, magnificent personalities in terms of charm. He's charming. He
Very.
is very charming, and I'm just not talking about looks, it's just the way that he is. His personality as a whole, it's very powerful.
In my like I have also like seen a lot of seasons. I have friends who've done a lot of seasons. The way he's so calm about it. He's like, the way he's saying things like being calm
Yeah.
and एक word सोच के बोल रहा है, like he's so
Yeah, he
calm.
really has a way with his words. He does, he does. He knows how to put things across.
And you know what? Maybe I think आपका triangle जो था ना, जो आप लोगों का
Hmm.
triangle था, ये सबसे people say it was confusing, but according to me, it was the easiest triangle because Priyank handled it gracefully. आप
Oh,
बाकी
yeah.
it was it's
People couldn't do it. People couldn't do it. It's the toughest job. For him to balance two people,
and
it's
that
it's not easy.
who had a strong personality. You know what I'm talking about? Like
Yeah.
Divya herself has a personality. You yourself have a very different personality. Two opposite personalities. He was handling
Yeah.
this guy.
Yeah.
That
And
it to him
exactly.
got
He
this.
had to balance that, and kudos to him for that, for sure.
बहुत सीजन में ट्रायंगल चले बट ये वाला ट्रायंगल सबसे फेमस यार पता है लोग हेट तो करते ही है बट हेट भी उसी की होती है जिसमें कुछ बात होती है दिस ट्रायंगल आई फील लाइक This guy really balanced it out. I just know it. Like, uska dikh raha hai ki the way he's talking to you and the way he's convincing Divya until the end of the show.
Yeah, and that is why this whole triangle even sustained because of Priyank. Nobody else. If it was just, any other guy, I'm telling you, it would have collapsed on the first day.
Exactly.
Bond with her, but then he also managed to maintain a bond with me as well.
Yeah.
Hence, all of it was working.
Exactly my point. So in this video, the way he's saying कि इसकी मेहनत की वजह से मैं आज यहाँ पे बैठा हूँ, हम दोनों यहाँ पे बैठे हैं. Nobody says it. Like,
Nobody says it. Nobody says it. And that is honestly like, I was in two minds as well. But then, when he made that comment, I was like, you know what? He's right. If I wanted them out of the game, I should have not performed yesterday. But that's really stupid of me to perform yesterday and then come here and vote them out. Like, that's so, why would I contradict myself like that? It
exactly.
doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying. And Divya also, I just feel like लोग ये भी बोलते हैं कि Divya is the reason or whatever, because people love you. People feel
Yeah.
like you and Priyank, जब मैं भी show में देखती थी and we were talking,
Yeah.
we friends used to talk. हम ये डिस्कस करते थे कि we think Nibby and Priyanka are like totally together. I don't want Divya or whatever. But
Yeah.
Divya also was very sophisticated in this triangle. She has a
Yeah.
very strong
Yeah.
personality. She was listening to Priyank's side also, and you were also listening to Priyank's side, which I felt
Yeah.
was classic.
No, I think Divya, throughout the whole journey, she has always been understanding of it. To see, I mean, I get her part as well. To see the guy that you love with somebody else throughout the whole show, it's tough. It's not easy. Um, I think throughout the whole journey, she's been very supportive and understanding about it. I think it was just that day when she got eliminated and got back, that outburst of hers kind of changed the equation. But otherwise, throughout the journey, she's been great.
And she actually can fight. Like, this was it. You literally lost it.
Yeah, this was the moment. This at a point when this happened for me, it was so unexpected. So for a moment, I was just like that. When she came back, I thought she would be, very civil about it. She would be very emotional meeting everybody again. So that's the kind of thought that I was going with. When she opened her mouth, I was like, "What? Where is this coming from? What happened to this girl?" And I was like, "Has she lost her mind or has she gone mad? Like, pagal ho gayi hai kya?" The fact that when we even form this trio, ये कहीं भी नहीं लिखा था कि अगर elimination होगा तो तू बाहर जाएगी. मतलब मैं क्यों जाऊँ बाहर? Why would I sacrifice for somebody else? If I am in a position where I am getting eliminated, I'll get eliminated. But if you are in that position, then you gotta go. Nobody signed up for that.
I also feel like you were not prepared for this. Like, that's how you got
No,
triggered.
yeah, I was not prepared because I was always somebody that supported them throughout. I knew that they wanted to be together in the show, and somewhere I was also trying to balance that and also sustain my place in the show with Priyank. And why would I perform with Ripu? I have no compatibility, no connection with Ripu. I never perform with him. I knew if I perform with him, I'll get eliminated the next day. Nobody wants to see me and Ripu together in that show. Even if I'm thinking from a show's perspective, if I'm there with Priyank, then they want they want it for a reason. It happened for a reason. So why would I let something like that go?
That's smart. So in this, I think you might have got a little bit of hate because people have always seen you as a
Yeah.
sweet girl
Yeah.
and sex
Yeah.
role. And in this one, you were fire. So
Yeah.
how was the
Oh
audience?
yeah. There was a lot of hatred, a lot of negativity that came my way, a lot of comments, a lot of DMs. At that time, Instagram was just starting out, so people really had a lot to say. But there were also people that supported me and that were very happy and glad about the fact that I spoke, because they know that somewhere it was wrong and it was uncalled for. And they've really not a lot has been shown in that video, but it went on for a very long time. This dome session went on for hours and hours. One clip, they where I've just said jaisa hai waisa rehne do, but to get to that point took hours and hours and hours of conversations and discussions and whatnot. It was a very tough decision to make, because you know obviously you don't want to sacrifice your place in a show. That's not what you're there to do. But then the fact that you also don't want the person that's sitting with you to sacrifice their place in the show as well. So you know at a point you're convincing yourself and you're convincing the other person as well. And I was just hoping and praying that, if this person ends up leaving the show with her, then it's done for me. Then there's no point being in the show.
So what you sacrificed, but right? You did.
In this dome session, no, I didn't, because if I were to sacrifice, Divya would have been in my place, and I would have been with Ripu. And at that point, the elimination hadn't happened.
Okay.
But if I did end up sacrificing my place, then I would have also been evicted.
Okay.
Basically, they wanted Priyank and Ripu to switch positions, and then they would both get eliminated from the show, which to me didn't make sense, because I
Yeah.
was like, what's the point of being like, what kind of love is this?
Yeah.
According to me, if you love somebody, you would want them to win the show. Like, it's okay, I'm not winning, but you win for me.
So basically, you cried in this dome. I mean, like there is this
Yeah,
very long video which I did not
yeah,
play. But
yeah.
why were you crying and what were the emotions about?
Honestly, I was very overwhelmed, because there was something inside me, because I am a nice person, and I don't like to be put on a spot like this. I somewhere felt bad for Priyank as well, because I knew that he was very emotional. So I there was a sense of guilt,
Yeah.
because I knew that I was stopping him from doing something that he somewhere did want to do. I felt bad for him. More than anybody else, I just felt bad for Priyank, and that was it. And I felt bad that I had to be the person, um, you know, uh, responsible for the fact that he's just unhappy.
Walked till there, like the dome के दूसरा वाला side पे आप चल के गए, and then you were crying there. Like there's this clip, I have the real clip.
Yeah,
Like so,
yeah.
what was that about? Like you, मतलब you wanted to meet that side of the dome पे वहाँ पे आप गए थे. वो clip में है.
Yes, so Divya, I think Divya was there at that point. Divya was standing with Ripu, and I had gone to Divya, and there was a connection that me and Divya shared as well, and I knew that she was in a situation where she may or may not get eliminated. So I felt bad for her as well. So I went there, and I was just not feeling happy. I wasn't happy about the kind of spot that I was put in. I think it was a very overwhelming for me, and it was a little. Intimidating for me as well. Like, I just wanted to get out of this situation.
You did want.
I didn't want to be responsible for anybody leaving the show, especially the people who I have the strongest connection within the show. And, I'm the one that's the reason for the elimination. That was something that just wasn't okay with me.
That's the reason you bursted out because you were like,
Yeah. Yeah.
made a decision for yourself, but you also felt like,
Yeah. Like, it was like I have to think for myself, because I'm here in the show for myself. But then I'm also hurting the people that are the closest to me.
but that's the game at the end of the day. People
That's the game. That is the game. So that frustration and that anger on that, all of those emotions, it was just an emotional outburst.
maybe so. I have only 3-4 questions left for you. So, if you say Splitsvilla 10, who's that one person that comes in your mind? Okay, so it's Splitsvilla 10. Okay, this person.
I think for everybody, it's Priyank, and for me, it's definitely Priyank, because I think if it wasn't for him, the season, it wouldn't have been possible without him. I
I
think he has
agree.
been there.
Agree. Okay, Nibby, there is always an entertainer in the show. There's always like
Yeah.
a person who keeps entertaining everybody and all of that. So, what do you think about like your season? Like, who was the most entertaining person on your season?
I think somebody that was like really funny, I think I would give it to Haneet. Like, Haneet was just this like typical Delhi ka londa, bade baap ki bigdi aulad. So he always had like funny, one-liners to say, and he was like anti us. So he was against us. So he would end up fighting with Siddharth or Priyank, and they would be very dignified about it as well. And then Haneet would be like all out,
So,
Delhi wala pura pura.
what is your bond with this one Siddharth and Akshita now? Like, what is your bond? Like, do you guys talk?
So Akshita, I'm not in touch with her at all. I don't speak to her. But Siddharth is somebody also that I mean, I don't speak to him, but every now and then we'll like exchange like a hi or an hello on Instagram, or like, we'll just react to each other's stories and just ask if everything is going fine in their life. So it's a very like decent bond.
In your season, Naina and Basir won. Do you think that is like justified? Like because everybody said like Divya and Priyank should have won the season because they were actually lifting the show up. They were carrying the season. So do you feel like Naina? Obviously, Naina is your friend, but asking like an
Yeah.
like are being unbiased.
Yeah, like unbiased. Yeah. No, I think it's absolutely fair, not just because she's my friend, but because both of them performed in the show. I think every challenge that they've done together, they've won. And they are just really compatible together in terms of, tasks, and they've won everything that they've done. They're a very powerful couple. So for them to win, it wasn't surprising. I knew that if it wasn't Divya or Priyank that would win, it would have to be Naina, because there was nobody that was stronger than them as a couple,
You
and
were
they've sustained themselves.
you
I
were
was happy. I was more than happy.
were happy that like because Priyank was also a friend, Divya also you had a connection with.
Yeah,
So like at the end of the day, you were fighting for that three people. Like you were a group of three people, like together
yeah,
going ahead. So did
yeah.
it like little bit break your heart कि यार हमारा ही group जीत जाता थोड़ा सा? But you're saying Naina and Basit. So
Nahi, at that point, because throughout the journey, Naina has always been there for me. Like, she had always supported me. So somewhere when she was performing, like, she's been someone that's never left my side.
yeah,
So when she was performing and she was really giving it her all, obviously she's also gone through a lot in that show. I just somehow I really was cheering for her, and I really wanted her to do well. I
perfect.
was also cheering for Priyank and Divya at the same time. But when the winner got declared, I wasn't unhappy about it even one bit. In fact, I was more than happy.
Perfect, perfect. Maybe now, what is your future plan? Like, are we seeing you in any other reality show?
Honestly speaking, I'm not sure about reality. I mean, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, there's only one reality show that's left once you've covered your MTV phase, which is Big Boss. So, if Big Boss does, happen, it'll happen. I mean, I'm all out for it. Like, I'm all open for it. If the opportunity does come to me, I'll
What will if you come?
100% I'll take it up.
If obviously they will call you one day, if not today, tomorrow. So, like, what will be your game like? Like, how are you going to play? I want to know. Like, as like a friend, like, how are you going
You
to?
know, you can plan as much as you like, but when
Yeah.
you're in that situation, things just change. You can go in there thinking, oh, I'm going to be very strategic about it. I'm going to be very vocal. I'm going to
But
just
they
set a
make
point.
it zero. They make it zero when you reach the
Yeah,
show.
they make it, so they'll be like, acha, ye sab hai, ruk batata hu. They change it up for you, and they really put you in situations where you're just on the spot, and they stress the hell out of you. So you
Maybe
can't help it.
Maybe so. What is your outlook about reality shows? Like, what do you feel like? How are reality shows made? Like, do you feel like you are swimming with the sharks? Like reality shows, the producers and everybody, they take a lot out of you because a lot of people come out of the reality shows. I'm talking about the people who are doing it now. Like my friends, when we discuss, we say, "यार show तो कर लिया, but आज तक hate मिल रही है, and this is still dragging in our lives. This is not ending." Like,
Yeah.
what do you have to say about that? Like, I want to know your outlook towards reality shows.
The whole point of doing a reality show is being real, being yourself on the show. So that is an image that you will carry with yourself lifelong. I think people are always going to remember
I
you.
don't think it
Uh,
takes something away from you.
this honestly depends on what it is that you portray yourself as on the reality show. Sometimes it can be really positive for you, and sometimes it may also end up becoming a little negative for you as well. It does take away from you, but one thing I've realized that people in our country will love you even if they hate you. If you're famous, you will get fame. They can hate you all they want on social media. They can troll you, but अगर road पे देख रहेंगे ना, they'll still click a selfie with you. Yeah, people are hypocrite. People in
They
this
will lick
country,
your
people on
ass
social media
clean.
are
They
hypocrite.
will lick your ass
They
clean.
will. Oh yeah,
They're writing frustration on your comments.
yeah,
Like
nonsense. They'll write and then they'll meet you and they'll act like you're the most amazing person that they know of.
do you
So
think
this hypocrisy
do you
is
think
there.
that's scripted? Like, do you think reality shows are scripted? According to you, what do you feel like? Obviously, they don't show everything on the show. Like, there is a
Yeah.
lot going behind the camera.
Honestly, a lot of content is filtered out by the team. And I wouldn't say reality shows are scripted. People think reality shows are scripted in a way where they tell you what to do, or there's a certain pattern that you have to follow that is being determined by the team, but that's not actually what happens. You're kind of doing your own thing, and usually they put you in a situation where they know that you will react in a certain way because they understand you
So
as a person.
you are saying it's highly produced.
It's highly produced, and because the post production is all in their hands, and I
Yeah.
think edits editing just steals the show. Yeah, editing just takes away everything. They can edit it however they want to. They can filter out whatever they want. They can filter out all the good stuff if they want to show you negatively.
Do you
So
think
I think
you were edited out? You were edited out nicely. Like, are you happy with your
I
edit?
mean, I would like to believe so. I think it's been positive for me. So I think it's been a good journey for me. Like I've got a lot of love for the way that I was shown in the show.
Yeah. So to the audience who still feel like that you were in between Divya and Priyank, what do you have to say? Like the final verdict will be what?
Yeah, so they are also not in between each other. अब तो छोड़ दो. अब क्या? अब 6 साल बाद भी मैं यही explanation दे रही हूँ. Like get over it.
Good one.
The poor
I
girl
will write it subtitles. Get over it.
gets over. Please grow up. The poor girl is engaged. She's happily moved on with her life. Ab kya?
It was my pleasure to have you on my channel. You just actually made my day, and I've heard so much good things about you, obviously from the mutuals we have. But I totally agree now because I get a vibe from somebody. I think you're so giving, you're full of love, and you're a sweetheart. Thank you for taking out the time. I really mean it from the bottom of my heart, and I can't wait to meet you in person also. And do you want to say anything to my fans for my YouTube channel? Please go ahead.
I've done a lot of interviews for people for YouTube, for even like a lot of big media houses as well. But this is honestly, this has to be one of the most fun interviews or like interactions or whatever you want to call it. It's been very fun, and I think what you're doing is very refreshing. It's a very different take on just it's not just any other YouTube channel. You're actually being innovative about it, which I think is amazing. And you're fun and you're brilliant at what you do. The way that you talk, the way that you converse, it actually just feels like a conversation. I
Yeah.
don't think
So I
it's
will talk
talent.
to you in person. अब बस इतना awkward मत करो. अब आप ये बताओ कि audience के लिए बोल दो for your Splitsvilla 10 fans.
Guys, thank you so much for all the love and all the appreciation that you guys have been giving me over all of these years. I'm truly very, very grateful, guys. Thank you. I love you guys, and I promise you that I'm gonna keep,
One more
coming up with new.
One more reality show. You should promise
One more reality show.
one
One
more
for the team. I'll take one for the team.
showdown. It's a showdown reality show. NIBEEE,
Hell yes.
thank you for doing this. I have to end it unfortunately, but I can't
Yeah.
wait to meet you in person. And thank you for taking out your time and doing
Yes,
this.
you must. Thank you for having me. Lots of love.
Thank you.
Bye.